hanging around downtown by myself, and I've got too much time to sit and think about myself. Then there she was in platform double suede. Yeah, there she was, like disco lemonade. I smell fish. How's it going, everybody? How are we doing? TGIF, that's right, guys. I wanted to stream. I know I've been a little AWOL, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're not going to talk about I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, oh, psh, oh, psh. They're going to go, problems are going to go that way. They're going to go past the camera, past you guys, past back in time. So today we're hanging out. We're relaxing. We're chilling with friends, and we are talking about fish. So how's everybody doing? Can we talk about plants? I mean, we can talk about plants. We can talk about whatever the chat would like to talk about, and then I can change the title later. Really, that's how it rolls. But I just wanted to hop on here. My thought was I was going to look through some of the fish that are out right now that I'm like, man, I feel like, okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about health, but what I mean is I haven't been out buying a whole bunch of new fish. Like I haven't been stocking tanks and like breeding new fish over and over like I normally would. Usually I've got 5, 6, 7 species that are spawning or growing out in some stage. Right now I've got like 1 betta and, bunch of live bearers, and then also my elosoma that are literally right next to me. And so because of all of that, I've kind of it's fallen by the wayside a bit. Come on, camera. It's fallen by the wayside a bit. What is out and like what's available. And what's really cool is we have had some very interesting new fish kind of entering the hobby by way of, I guess, pathways that weren't normally found in the hobby until very recently. So things like Filipino islands that have a fish that's been known for 100 years, and maybe it's kind of an understated fish like a zebra Daniel, right? It's not like it's electric purple or some crazy color, really out there fish. But it's just like, oh, wow, that's a really nice looking minnow. Like in the thumbnail, I tried to include some of these fish. And I want to show you guys one that caught my attention. And I had never seen it. And y'all might be over there in China or in Europe if you're watching. And you might be like, oh, the Eurasian minnow or the Chinese Mandarin minnow. Very pedestrian. I've seen that many times. But I'd never seen one spawning, so I was blown away when I saw them. And I'm going to show you guys one in a sec. But first, I want to say hello to all y'all who decided to join me right from the get. Hello, Aquatic News Network. Good to see you. Cosmin, what's up? Just one more fish. Who else is in here? Johnny Best, buddy. Good to see you. As always, Emily. Hello, Ollie. Good to see you. Ollie the pufferfish. That name just makes me so happy. Linda, how's it going? Empire of Dirt. What's up, Jeff? Nancy B in Tennessee. Cara C. Okay, we're rhyming. Nancy B and Cara C. Andrew C. What's up? Mike, hello. He's the plant one. He's the one who threw the spanner in the works. He's like, oh yeah, I don't know. No fish. Let's talk about plants. And then we've got Bethany. Hello. Arson. Carson. They're kind of the same word. And Phoenix Star. Hello. And then a good place to buy flagfish online. Cara, that's a tough one in that they're everywhere in Florida. So there are a lot of places where you can get flagfish on like eBay, where I would trust it. I think Native Aquariums, I've bought stuff from that guy, and I know now about a dozen viewers have. If he has them, he's usually got a really good price on them. He just goes by Native Aquariums or Native Aquarium. And in my episode on my Florida fish unboxing, I kind of go over some of that. And then also Tanya, hello. Barbara Jackson, hello, good to see you. And then Moto Guppy, what's up? Yellow Marker, what up? And Pawn Puppies, arrow. And we've already got a gift. Thank you so much, Johnny. I appreciate it. That is very kind of you, opening up the catalogs, the archives of back in the secret history living in your aquarium days, plus the fishery archive to whoever gets that membership. So welcome aboard, new member, whoever you may be. Yar. Catfish crew, what's up? Are we talking about native fish? We are going to talk about some native fish. David Curie, what's going on? It is going all right. You know, so this is the first time my wife brought home 2 of these because they were on sale. And I thought, what a dumb thing. But at the same time, I did graphic design, web design, tattooing for like 15, 17 years, basically, before I did the YouTube fish stuff. And I am amazed that they can sell water for like $4 or $5 in a tall can. That's just water. And it just looks like a trendy drink you'd get in like a bar. It's got like these really like kind of hardcore, like skater punk, kind of gutter punk label, like or rat fink art kind of stuff. But I was like, well played marketing at the same time. But they were on sale for like $1.50 each. And my wife got a couple for me to try because she's like, you don't drink enough water. And she found out that I was refilling, like if I drink a Dr. Pepper, I was refilling cans of Dr. Pepper later in the day. I would just refill that same can with water. And she's like, that can't be good for you with the bacteria and stuff. So yeah. They're on sale in the UK, 12 cans for £4 and nobody touched it. Yeah, see, in the UK, you guys are probably smarter than us in America. Here, they sell for like 4 or 5 pounds each. No, like 2 pounds each is the equivalent, but still crazy for water. I am looking chipper, Barbara. Thank you. Honestly, I took a nap and then I drank a shot of espresso. Like I went up to the little local coffee stand with my neighbor, and he wheeled me out there and we went and got an espresso, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to stream. Because honestly, I've had a really lame week, and so I always really look forward to hanging out with you guys on these live streams. And yeah, Laura is right, by the way, about these tasting good. Like I'm not a picky water person. Like I don't like Aquafina or Dasani. Like I'll say that those taste like plasticky to me for some reason, or just gross. Or those like really thin bottles that like in the heat take on a plastic taste. I know they're supposed to be good for the environment, but it's like a cap that you can literally squeeze and it pops off. Anyways, I won't go into it. We're talking about fish today, but I wanted to say that, yeah, actually this whole still drinking mountain spring water from Macaw, Idaho, I actually know where that is. It's a pretty little place. And I do. There's little mountains and glaciers and things around there. So yeah, maybe, you know, maybe they're getting it from there and not like the city place, but whatever it is, it tastes like clean water, which that's better than sometimes the taste of chlorine. We do have we have a charcoal, like basically an RO filter for our house as well. So it doesn't really matter. I usually just drink that. But if my wife was going to bring it home, like I think she had a work function and she had a bunch of them and was like, here, try it. All right, guys. So I also have possible sponsorship deal. Yeah, you know what would be funny is to like crack a case of like, you know, 100 of these and fill an aquarium with them. Just throw the can behind me and then like take the money from recycling the aluminum. And that's aluminum and glass are like 2 of the things that you can actually recycle pretty easily. Like systemically, they're pretty easy to recycle, but that would be funny. Can't argue, it's got electrolytes, right? Yeah. But yeah, it would be kind of funny. I tried to get Dr. Pepper to sponsor my CO2 for my plants, and to then give me like a little bar setup with like the soda machine handle, like so that only dispenses Dr. Pepper, and then like the other line would go to the CO2 diffusers in 2 tanks. And I wrote up a proposal and I drew a picture, and they were like, "Would you need more or less than 100,000 from us for this?" And I was like, "Less." And they were like, "Okay, well then that goes to this person." And then I just never heard back from them. I wonder what would have happened if I'd been like, "Yeah, I need more than 100,000 for that." Anyways, yeah, it's got what plants crave. I mean, so there's that. Asya, how's it going? Good to see you. Okay, so I was going to show you guys this thing that exists that you don't know about. Well, you might know about it, but I didn't know about it. Let me find it real quick. Well, you can watch me make dumb faces while I pull it up real quick here. And oh wow, wild! Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Google spies on me and knows what I'm searching for. Do. So I was gonna say the other thing that happened that was a bummer. You know all those fish I got from Florida. Okay. Let me regale ye in a story, and I'll show you the fish that we're gonna look at first. First, we'll do the fish thing. Then I will go on a rabbit trail. Pile Aquatics, what's going on, buddy? My killifish aficionado, how's it going, bud? Hope you're doing well. Catfish crew, what's up? All right, let's pull on this stream. Share screen. Foxinus is the name of this fish, which I think is a cool name. It's a little minnow, a true minnow, and it's very, very lame looking most of the time. Look at that lame fish, how lame of lamerson that fish is, right? Well, then watch what happens when it gets into spawn mode. It has colors that I don't know that I've ever seen on fish. I mean, trout, sure, but not in like these combos, not so bold, not so, I mean, what is going on here? I mean, what is the deal with that? That is a beautiful little fish, right? Isn't that cool? Yeah, they get really, really, the minnow, that's its Latin name is minnow. Yeah, look at that with the red on its belly with the line of black, and then it's got the green with the like tiger stripe hash marks or par marks, whatever you want to call them, and then the white dots on the face. I mean, so there's a whole class of these fish. So, I mean, that Eurasian minnows, right? That's what this is known as. So it's all over Asia and Europe. It's a very common fish, very common in China. And it's very overlooked because most of the year it's going to look something like that, right? And that's not the most exciting fish you've ever seen, right? And they're a cold water fish. But they can withstand, in some of their range, they go all the way up to like 75, 80 degrees almost year round in some of the areas. And in like some spots like Kazakhstan and like, some of the central like steppe areas, as well as like I think on the north side of Pakistan, like they actually get pretty darn hot for most of the year, and then it freezes also, but I don't know if they swim downriver or what. Somebody more educated than I will have to tell you about them, or I'll have to do research. But they're one of those like beautiful fish, just like we all know that there's the incredible rainbow shiner, obviously. You guys all know that one probably, right? That's the one that's in the hobby all the time now. And, it's earned a place. I agree. Like, well, yeah, that should be in the hobby. It's really incredible, right? But there's some fish that are entering the hobby now that kind of got overlooked, but they existed for a long time. And I don't know So the real trick is going to be, can we get good food that they will eat? So we know about that shiner, but check out this one. The thing is, if we keep these fish in water that is warm, that is in condition that's similar to when they spawn in the spring and into the summer, you can keep them looking very, very incredible. They do need to kind of have time to color down, or they'll live a much, much, much shorter life. That's what I will say. But I don't know that humans, I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't know that humans care. I think a lot of aquarists or people with tanks would want to just keep them warm and try to keep them spawning in spawning color, most of the year that's possible. But regardless of all that, there's a lot of some of these fish. The shiners, there's a lot of diversity, and I think they're really a beautiful fish. And these are native to North America, but they just get so overlooked. So that's one, obviously, that I think this is the saffron shiner, and the Notropus is kind of our big genus of shiners in America. But we also have the, I want to show you guys another really nice one. The dusky shiner. This is a sleeper. This one never gets the attention that I feel it is owed. Also, the blue nose shiner too is another one that I always liked. Look at that fish. I mean, some of these fish are right here under our noses. This is from Georgia. I mean, why is that not in the hobby? And the answer is, well, it eats live food, and that's tricky. Well, I think that we are like one innovation away from live food being something that is approachable by most people. Also, they need a little bit of flow. Yeah, blue nose, they are endangered. That is true. You can't keep the blue nose in certain states. Is it federally endangered too now? It might be. But point being, there's a ton of incredible fish that basically cold water and the fact that they only color up some of the year has prevented them from being popular. And I think there's a lot of people that are probably ready in their fish keeping journey, to have some fish that don't look like incredible all year long. That's okay. Maybe they look like Danios for part of the year, right? Like, it's still not a bad looking like fish, some of these. The other one that I was gonna there's the other group of fish from the US that I want to just call out real quick, because we talked about elastomas last week. So whoops. I spelled that wrong. Here, I'll just search this way. Golden top minnow. Okay. Fundulus. I did spell that right, I guess, the first time. Okay, whatever. Anyways, these are another one that they're in the hobby off and on. And I know Isaac doesn't like his work shown. So I'm trying not to, we'll try not to look at that Google search result, guys. But if you Google it, that's right where you're going to go, is to his Facebook. And he has some incredible pictures of how lovely this fish is. It has some really beautiful subtleties. Yeah. Anyways, I just love, I love some of these native fish that are found down in the Florida and Gulf Coast area. Obviously, you probably know bluefin killifish or topfin minnows, sometimes they get called. These are like one of my all-time favorites. I have some really nice pictures of these. The Lucania goodii or goodie. I forget how you say it. I forget how the guy it's named after. But anyways, they're just an absolutely show-stopping fish. And they're this color like multiple times a day. I really don't know why these aren't more in the hobby, other than the fact that the ones I got I only have a handful left that got shipped to me from Florida. I only have like 3 left out of the like 9 I got. Granted, they were in transit for 9 days and they were only supposed to be in transit for 3. Well, I just want to say that, you know, I think when handled well, when the post office doesn't lose them, they seem like a pretty darn hardy fish. If they could even survive that transit that long, I mean, I'm shocked, but they are a really cool little fish. And, you know, rainbow daces, yes, that is another really nice one, Alishon. I really do like those as well. And Pyle said, I just set up a 120-gallon 5-foot aquarium and I plan to fill it with natives. I was going to use natives found around me, but this live stream is making me rethink that. Yeah, I know. There are some incredible fish out there. Oh, nice. Catfish crew. You guys caught some saffron shiners on Wednesday. Wow, 3 or 4 inches. I've never seen them that big. I mean, granted, I don't live near them. I've only gone and visited their territory twice and seen them in a few friends' tanks, but absolutely incredible. You know, the other one that I think, before we look at some of the foreign fish, I just wanted to they're in a hydroflox. Wait, hold on. I'm looking. They are also in the genus. They're also now in the genus Hydroflox. Okay, let's look up that. Hydroflox. I don't know. Oh yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, these ones are incredible. These are really stunning fish too. I mean, there's a lot of shiners that are just show stoppers when they're spawning. I mean, yeah, here's the another one. Like you said, that genus, it's subtle, but like, so another thing, like a Piedmont shiner. Remember we looked at the saffron shiners, right? Well, then look at this. So yellow on the top here, right? Well, right here, no yellow on the top. That's a different fish. So there are a ton of shiners, and some of them are very specific to certain regions, and they really do turn colors that are like kind of unbelievable. Like here's another one. That's another variation of the yellow red pattern. But again, it's tricky in knowing what you're allowed to for sure keep in your area, what you're allowed to collect different places. But most of these fish, these shiners and or daces, stay small enough that, you know, they're a pretty good option. And for a tank, like you can easily keep like Florida flagfish. Like here's a picture from Aquarium Co-op Forum. But you can see they've got all the rainbow shiners there. Well, those are from the Cahaba River. And then right there, it looks like they've got some cypress darters. I'd like to mention, though, that my cypress darters have done so well. Cypress and swamp, actually, cypress, I think it's spelled like the tree, right? Darters. So these look boring, right? They're not. They're anything but. When you look at them underneath, this is a better kind of picture to give you the vibe. They have like a very bluish green hue to them, the ones that I've always collected in Florida. Also, swamp darters, which sounds like a boring fish, right? I mean, I don't know. To me, it sounds like a boring fish. They gave it a boring name. And they don't look great when pictured, but they have an iridescence, and it goes from red to purple to green to yellow. It really kind of depends on where they're collected. And this is not even getting into all the darters, which again, there are insane amounts of darters. If you're willing to keep cool water tanks unheated, like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're willing to keep, you know, fish food that is live that they can eat, holy cow, there are, what, I don't know, 200 species probably out there from America alone. It's pretty incredible. So there's a lot of options. You know, the other option, also Big Steve, thank you, buddy. We've got a gifted membership. Round of applause. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Also, Dagmar, welcome. Johnny, hello. And did Johnny do another membership? Is that what I'm seeing? Johnny, thank you. Ace, also here. House of Pisces. Who else has walked in? Who else has swam in the door while I was not looking? Who came up the fish ladder and didn't pull it up behind them? George, RB3, what's up? How are you doing down there? Looks like the like count is a little light. Yeah. X out of the chat. Click that thumbs up if I deserve it. If I don't deserve it, then, you know, thumbs down me. Ratio me into non-existence. Heart. All right. So what I wanted to show you guys, though, over at Moonlight Aquatics, and yes, you guys must know that in the description, you too can get discounts, major discounts. Yes, the fish doorbell. Nancy B knows what I'm thinking in my brain. I did a post a while back. I don't know if that was a members only post or an everyone post, but I did a post about this website in, I believe, the Netherlands, might have been Denmark. Anyways, one of the two, and they have a site where just citizens volunteer, and you wait and you watch this webcam, and when a fish enters a chamber, you push a button and it opens a little thing for the fish to swim through, and it goes up to wherever it's going, up the tributary. And they actually have like relied on citizens volunteering, and they thought, well, like maybe it'll work, maybe some school kids will help, and maybe we could use AI or whatever. No, it's like one of the most like one of the most popular sites there is for coming from that country, which is wild. So yeah, also, oh yeah, log perches, stone rollers, those are all super, super beautiful fish. So what I wanted to say though is that, you know, right now, Moonlight Aquatics got in some really cool fish. Hopefully he's got most of these updated. The problem is he puts them, like, a lot of times these links are kind of screwy on here. And the thing is, I should go walk through the store. Well, okay, honestly, I can't walk through the store. I can wheel myself through the store. I'm my own gimbal now. I can just hold it. If someone will wheel me through the store, I can show you guys what they have up there. I need to get up there. But yeah, if you wanted to order anything and you live in the US from Moonlight Aquatics, just use the code FISHTERY10. You'll get 10% off, but he's already got extremely low prices. Like, he's already passing on the savings. You know, this is the same guy who got in the orange, well, the blueberry snails. He brought those into the US first, and he also brought in these orange or peach versions, which nobody seems to want anymore, which is weird. Look at this. He's got crystal S and double S grade, crystal red, crystal black shrimp for $4.99. All his neocaradinas are like $2 or $3.99. I mean, very, very, very affordable. I've got a bunch of his Bloody Marys. So that's all boring stuff. You guys have seen all that stuff before. There's the original blueberry snail, which Chris Lukoff and I believe, you know, these were going for $40 a piece on eBay and, you know, other places. But look at this. What he's got right now are some fish that he's going to be highlighting these. Some of these species of Stiphodon or Styphodon, there's some new species that are coming out of the Philippines and out of the Pacific Islands that are absolutely gorgeous. And a lot of times they turn, you know, a lot of different colors, and the females look pretty different than the males. Let's see how that, yeah. So the females can look kind of underwhelming. Sometimes the males even look underwhelming for a little while. Then all of a sudden you'll do a water change, or it'll just be a mood they're in where they're showing off, and you just get this incredible fish that lives 2 to 3 years. Also, it looks like they have a teardrop tattoo, kind of in reverse, kind of like an anime tear, because it's just spilling out of their eye. But yeah, you know, I love Stiphodons, however you want to pronounce it. I'm sure there's a correct way, and I'm probably not getting it either way. But you know, he's got a lot of really cool fish right now. And like here's one where the picture link is broken at first, but Ivancara immaculata, these are like, I mean, for a while, these are going for $100 a pair, and they're $34 right now. I mean, he's got a lot of interesting stuff, and it's just the picture just isn't loading or whatnot. And that's the whole freaking problem on his website. And it's one guy. So he's importing, he's writing all the tariff paperwork, all his taxes, all his quarterly taxes, all his declarations of plants, fish. Then he's unboxing. Then he's shipping to you guys. And he's running a store and doing all the water changes of literally like 120 tanks. The guy like sleeps in his store, and he sleeps in phases, 4 hours on, 4 hours off. And I mean, this guy is probably the hardest worker that I've seen in the fish hobby. I'll say that I don't think I've seen anybody work harder than Chang, who owns Moonlight. It is wild, but he's got some really cool fish right now, and he always has, you know, cool fish, shrimp, and stuff like that. But right now, he's got some exceptional stuff, especially like the gobies, and you know, just incredibly priced, really fair for like the orange Venezuelan cories. They're, you know, $11.99. For gold laser cories, they're $9.99 or $10.99. I mean, really, really wild. But he also has you know, some interesting stuff that you don't always see, like the red eye and red tail puffer. There's a red eye puffer, and then there's the red tail red eye puffer. And, you know, $24, it's a great deal for a mid-size to small puffer. Also, he's bringing in more right now, but he's got 14 or 15. You know, you're used to the reticulatus hillstream loach, right? $14. That's pretty average from what I see. 10 to $20. I see those things around the US. Well, he's bringing them in, and he's bringing in, you know, really interesting stuff. Oh, by the way, here's another Stiphodon that he brought in, the Aero Fusus. I'm not going to say it right, but these guys have an electric orange and then like a gold, like the actual kind of true golden metallic looking pattern. They're really cool. I've had those in the past. So he's got, if you wanted to do like a nano tank where you change the water a lot, he's got you covered there. Also, these were those incredible tetras that I had. And I just, ever since my surgery, I've not gone and wanted to spend hundreds of dollars on fish. I felt so bad about when the power went out. I was in the hospital between both those things, and then the month or two afterwards where I couldn't get things into order the way I needed to. It just broke my heart. And so I haven't re-upped on fish until I can take care of them properly, which I don't know. Hopefully hopefully I'm being a good example there, but I'm also being a boring example. Like I need to go over to someone's house and I need to like work on that. But these red tail hillstream loaches, these are the Bloody Mary ones. Come on. Are they going to load? These, I mean, they're an incredible fit. Yeah, here we go. I took these pictures, so I was like, what? Where are they? But I mean, actually, these are not the Bloody Marys. These are the normal ones. But these are just incredibly beautiful fish. And they stay like this with the red on their tail. The maze pattern, some of them have dots, some of them have mazes. But he's got like over a dozen species in there. So you could do such a cool tank with just those. I mean, you could literally like here's the Bloody Marys for $39. Now these are $79. I've seen them for $59. I've seen them for so much money other places. Come on, please work. I don't know why stuff isn't. Oh, there it goes. I was like, it's having trouble loading, but I mean, these actually their whole back will turn like a red color, and the red on them really shows off. So let me see if I can pull up a different. So if we go to Bloody Mary Hill Stream, come on, fingers type. I got sausage fingers, guys. Hillstream Loach. Let me show you guys a better picture of these. Chris Lukoff took a picture of this species that is incredible, but you have to have the license to use that. And, you know, Chang, like I just said, he runs his own business. Also, by the way, these, one of my favorite fish also, let me try to bring it over into, well, that's not working. Hold on. Man, it keeps opening new tabs. Let me bring you guys over into the new tab. What we have to do, we're going to have to go over to Google first. It's because of StreamYard. Here we go. Google, and we'll go Bloody Mary Hillstream. I've got all these saved on my phone. That's probably an easier way to do that. But also, don't trust Chat GPT about any of the fish things. Like, they're very accurate on like 80 to 90% of things, and then there's like 10% that's completely wrong that can kill the fish. I've been finding that out. But what I wanted to show you guys is that also he's got these, so like stuff that you're only seeing overseas still in some cases. Granted, there's some of these fish you'll have seen probably in the hobby by this point now, like this guy here. This is either the Fang guy or Myers eye, I would guess. And there's a number of these loaches. Like I said, there's 64 in Borneo alone. And they come, Laticeps is another one that is the purple and yellow one. I mean, are you guys seeing? Yeah, okay, you guys are seeing this. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Moonlight Aquatic prices are insane. Totally, Johnny. And I mean, he does a good job, and he guarantees everything. That's why I stand by him. You know, I stand by them. I stand by Dan's Fish, which his prices are extremely high. Hey, there's Dan right there on that thumbnail. But he gets rare stuff. He gets stuff that, like, if I were going to breed these, if Dan had them, I would buy them from Dan over Chang if I were breeding them. Why is that? That's because Dan is going to feed them until they're fat and sassy. And then he's going to, like, he'll literally fatten them up and get them healthy and hold them for, like, you know, whether it's 20 days or 100 days, he'll hold them until they meet his standard. And they even will do, you know, basically research for the hobby on this. There's also some of these fun, this is the Sumatran Hill Stream loach, but there is a green version that Chang has that I'll show you, but I want to show you guys a good picture of it, so that's why we're still here. And same with the saddled loach. He just got a couple more of those, I believe. So I wanted to give you guys the down low. Saddled Hillstream. Yeah, these apparently, I didn't know this until I talked to some people from Indonesia and Malaysia, but apparently you can go up a river for like 1,000 times, and these are really hard to catch and find. Which, I mean, I could see how they would blend in with like leaf litter in the rainforest on stone that is multicolored and shadows and reflections. But I had one of these guys that I adopted at an old age. If you guys remember, I got him from Chang's store. Somebody dropped off theirs, and I had him for like a year. He buried himself and he hung out under the flow were the two places he hung out. But they're kind of one that just like perches up, sits, and doesn't ever seem to be too aggressive or anything. They're just chilling, and they just look like a python or something, you know. They're such a cool fish. These ones do get big though. They're like an 8-incher, you know, 5 to 8-incher, depending on how much you let them grow out. And you know, I know that's a big range, but it's true. Like, I've really seen them vary on how big they get. And I don't know if it's a collection point thing or just sheer nutrients or like what dictates that, but it is a big difference. And then I was going to show you guys the tiger loach, or botias. This is the other one that I had in with my rainbow fish for 2 years. And they usually look all faded out in the pictures like this, right? But this is not actually that faded when you're in real life, like in real life, up close and personal. This is iridescence. So you actually see like a yellowish green to the stripe at one angle. And yet you see an orangey red or even like a gray charcoal and a silver, like this one here. This is the redfin tiger loach. There's also just the tiger loach. And then there's the green tiger loach. So there's 3 of these that are pretty similar. There's also this one, the peppered tiger loach. But I just wanted to show you guys those because if we're going back to Chang's, what am I doing? It's Moonlight. Moonlight Aquatics. Yeah, a lot of times the fish that he posts, you're like, it looks all right. And then like, you know, you Google the picture and you're like, holy cow, I've never seen such a beautiful fish. All right, how are we doing over in chat, you guys? We got Pile Aquatic. I'm gonna have to separate. Oh, we got oh, we got Stephen P 2003. What's up? Also, we got Ryan Harris. Also, Ryan mentions AI and how awful it can be. I feel you. I feel you. Bogos Binted. Really love hill streams. I had 3 in an aquarium tank with the sponge filter, but when I moved them into a bigger tank with the hang off the back filter to try and breed, they all climbed into the hang off the back. Oh, you know, I've had them do that too. They love waterfalls, so they're going to climb into like anywhere they can. That if there's algae or flow, they will jump up / suction cup mouth, or even they've got special fins that that make a little suction cup shape. So these are another one, I mean, that Chang has right now that are polka dots. So they get these stripes in the back as they get older that kind of alternate. But then they've got these other stripes all down their side. And then look on their lateral line, you can tell that that's not just ornamentation. It's actually some sort of sensory odontode. Now, if you watch my recent video on teeth and scales and how those evolved and whiskers and odontodes and dentification and dentin in the teeth and the pulp of the teeth, why we have sensitivity to biting into a big old thing of cold ice cream, why that hurts your teeth for some of you, or maybe hot food for others of you. Well, it's because we evolved these same, our teeth evolved the same way as the whiskers or the little nubbins and onodontodes did on these creatures. And so there's like endless ways that evolution has taken that, and really different sensing ways that people have for humans, we just feel pain, pressure, hot, cold, really. But for fish, they evolved those into all sorts of things, from heat to pressure waves to only soft pressure to only the pressure, like barometric pressure. It's really wild. Also, Chang has, again, he's got a crazy selection of rainbow fish that I don't know anybody else who has. In-house. Like somebody might have a couple of these things, but like the fact that he's got the collection point of like I can't even say it. Taratatua. Also, like, this is another beautiful fish, the Chilatharina fasciata collyweb. I mean, he's just got a whole selection of a lot of these right now. And a lot of them are, again, stuff that I'm like, I've never even seen that. Like, what is that fish? And look at this. Speaking of those native fish, if you're looking for some, $11.99. It seems to be a pretty consistent price, somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks. Even when I see people breeding them, like friends and stuff, that is kind of where they fall. And I think it's just because they're a little bit of work to breed. Also, he's got bandit cories for $11.99. I think that's a good deal for, I think they're adorable. But also the Duplicaris Corydoras, they have like, they almost look like the Adolphoi with the little yellow or tan spot, orange spot. They're kind of cool. And then he's got a whole number of live bearers and guppies in right now. He's got, again, these rainbow fish that I'm like, who knows what the heck these are? I've never seen these before. Jacora. I don't know these species. Sultan plecos, only 54 bucks. Yeah, his wife to be, his fiance, I believe, was taking some pictures of them. And also these right now are already on sale, so they were 79 bucks for the albino 333. I mean, it's pretty wild. The Hypencistrus, the true, the zebra plecos, the leopard frog plecos, historically they've been really expensive, and he's getting them for 69 bucks for like an 1.5 to 2.5 inch long fish. Also, these micro plecos, super cool. Like these things stay like 2 to 4 inches depending on the species, but these ones stay 2 inches right here. The L280, and I think they look cool. They got little polka dots on them. That is something that like I stopped keeping plecos because I was like, they're just a lot of work, and they get infections and they make a lot of like they make a big mess. Also, by the way, he's got the blue and gold fin hillstream loaches too. There's gold on their tail here and then blue in the center. They're great. I mean, also he's got these have gone up in price though, but they're still incredible because they're fully grown now. His Procyon, which means raccoon. Also Glossolepis multisquamata, Pagai village. I mean, okay, I don't know what this fish is. I mean, obviously it's a rainbow fish. I assume most of the rainbow fish have similar standard care. Pretty wild. Also, look at this though. This is a killer deal, and I do need to go get me some of these. Make sure you still got them. This is one that I'm like, I know I shouldn't start too many new tanks or whatever. Will this load? Come on. But the Galaxia or the Tatia Galaxia, the Milky Way wood catfish. Alan Bauer, my friend. I mean, when the channel was young, when these were brand new to the hobby, kind of like first appearing, and they were like, I think I paid like $48 a fish for these things. Now they're $14.99. Or wait, what just happened? $14.99, and then $19.99 for the full. Yeah. So if you want the full grown one, it's 3 inches. That's 19 bucks. If you want a 1.5 inch, oh, they're sold out at the moment. Never mind, I lied. But check those things. Like when you're looking at these, I had too. I grew out some of these. What happened with the rainbow tank that then became? Does he still have these? These blue flame paradise gouramis, I swear I thought they would have sold out. Like maybe he got more, because these are like great paradise fish that you can keep outside like in the summer. They can be down pretty cold. But again, more Stiphodon, just incredible, beautiful. The golden spot goby, the ornatus. This should be called like the rainbow. I mean, beautiful is not enough of a descriptor for that fish, but yeah. Yeah, right? Microplecos, I am in. I know. Usually micro before something doesn't always is not about to I guess denote quality or value, but yeah, micro for sure on these fish does. let's see here. Bogos Binted at Really Love Hill Streams. I had 3. Oh wait, I already read that. Hello. Love to Trip on Fish. Hello. Emily. Hello. Garage and Gills. Hello. Who else has wandered on? Also, yeah. And if you want, I mean, if you live in the US, you can just order them. Use my code. You'll get a discount. I'll get a kickback. I'll get 5% of your money. Actually, I'll get 5% of your the profit made off of your money, and then I'll be able to buy fishies with it, or pay for my wheelchair. Roy Baker, Yellow Marker. I still like that name. And so the other place, obviously, that we always love to go look at for new fish, even if you're not going to buy them, Dan's Fish, of course. The guy who has the pricey fish, but they're incredible, right? Oh my goodness, he's got the golden ones with the big high fins, and these are the Tenictes, the albanubes, and these are a really fun fish to spawn. Okay, that's a more realistic picture. So these used to be called the Hong Kong white clouds when they've got the yellow on them like that with the high fin. I mean, they all have high fins when they're showing off, but when you get the yellow on the dorsal and anal, and these ones seem to have quite a bit of it. If you guys fed these guys a lot of carotenoids, a lot of like lycopene and stuff like that, you could probably get them really, really bright. Like this picture might have the contrast turned up. I don't know. But anyhow, I mean, another great picture. Like, so Chris Lukop took this picture, and you can see the subtleties when you feed and keep these fish well. The difference between when you go to Petco and get one of these fish versus when you go to Aquarium Glaser or, you know, somewhere that's world class importing. Dan's Fish, I know he sources them from there amongst many other places too. Rudiments and, you know, places that are renowned in Europe, he will import over here. But look at this. Look at these new beautiful kissing Medaka rice fish. I don't know what kissing rice fish means. I mean, I guess they're just normal, right? But they're very pretty. They're kind of just platinum. They're not blue platinum at all. They're just a very true platinum. And I just love rice fish. That's another one that I predicted would take off, and I don't think it ever did, really, honestly. I don't think it did. But you know, look, he's got some really great. He's got the red eye lemon tetras. I notice he's not even calling them red eye lemon tetras though. He's just calling them lemon tetras. But they do. They've got the red eye. There's also the orange lemon tetras, or the Bolivians, which now they're going to get a new name, the Hyphosobricon, like maybe a flame or something. But he also has some of these really interesting, like the peppermill tetra. This name I hate. Like peppermill is such a dumb name, but these are an incredibly beautiful. Ryan took these pictures, but yeah, the Pugatti or Pujati, really cool. They're pricey as all get out. I know that, but they're still cool. Also, these I got these for I think $4 or $5.99 as little fish somewhere, but paying good money for these fish in good quality, I would pay $10. Like if I was already ordering fish, I know with the shipping and everything, that's kind of a lot. Same with these. People don't understand like paying the difference. Like honestly, some of these look washed out, right? Like that one in the front there. Like that's what I see a lot of times at fish stores or like any sort of big store for sure. Or this one up here that's kind of washed out. But when you see this fish super healthy and in soft water that has a little bit of minerality. So mostly like neutral to mildly acidic and a little bit of minerality, just like Lake Inlet. Oh, they are an absolutely beautiful, like, showstopper fish that, like, I love in my nano tanks. Chain loaches, another one that I absolutely love, that you can get those like at Petco, PetSmart, and you know, you're gonna get what you get. But what I was mentioning too, like at Moonlight Aquatics, both of these fish are at, I think these were 19.99 at Moonlight Aquatics, and these are 26.99 a piece at Dan's Fish. Granted, if I was breeding them, I would probably go with these Dan's Fish ones. And it's because they're probably more certainly, I mean, Dan has a veterinarian and he has multiple staff members that are on the ball, that know what's up with any sick fish. Chang has himself, he has some help in the store at the retail level, but he runs everything online and all the importing and all that stuff, picking it up from the airport. That's all just one guy at Moonlight. And so, you know, he admits it, you know, he does a freaking good job. But if I really wanted good breeding stock and I didn't want the headache of like, oh, do I need to re-quarantine these and do this or that? Am I going to have to wait again? Or are they of a good size to spawn? I'm going to go with Dan's Fish every time. But I'm just looking for interesting new stuff, right? Like right now, those are really cool. Here's a good example though too. So gold laser quarries, $29.99 here. They were $9.99 on Moonlight. So big difference in price. Raccoon tetra, not a huge difference in price, but those are an incredible fish. To some people, you know, 12 of these is a dream fish. It'd be pricey. I mean, it'd be $400 or whatever. But that would be, if you're spending already $1,000 on your aquarium or something, you know, I think it's worth it. I can't spend that kind of money, but someone can out there. This is cool. I didn't ever see this picture. I'm sorry, guys. So there's the crocodile toothpick fish and there's the paradox. I think the paradox ones are cuter. They're less creepy, in my opinion. And this is a teeny tiny fish, not even an inch long. These are like 2 centimeters max. But I love those fish. They're like $10. If you have a nano tank, like 3 to 5 gallons or a 10-gallon tank, I think they're so worth it. This is another sleeper fish that nobody gets. And I'm guessing Dan will have the correct names on them, but this is another one where there are 4 species that are almost identical. The thing that changes is in their adult life, you can find a different colored dorsal fin and a different color anal fin in some of the males, and an extra black bar or a missing black bar, however you want to look at it. But I mean, yeah, they're an incredible fish. If you need a nice schooling fish that gets maybe 1.5 inches long, great. Party animal rainbow fish. I don't know like what is going on here. The party animal. That's a funny name that Bentley is calling them, but the Chilatharina blairii. Okay, that's what it is. They are a really, really beautiful rainbow fish. Dan is the other guy who has just, you know, tetras and rainbow. Oh, here we go. Bolivian orange lemon tetra. Remember I just told you guys about this? These are so worth it. So beautiful. Feed them a good diet. They don't look anything like this. They will glow. I mean, they get this like hook of orange right there, sometimes red. Their eyes get dark red, and then they turn like this beautiful yellow. It looks like they're glowing from the inside out when you see them in person. They're a really special fish. Also, these black morpho tetras, those are a really neat one if you have like a blackwater tank. These have kind of these cool fins, and they're like a black darter tetra. Or black line tetra, not the ones that you think of, the black neon tetras, but like the ones that have the big sail fins. The males will spin around and dance, but they live in like very Coca-Cola-ish water, and they will eat micro stuff in your tank, and they will love it. So again, $229 for the zebra pleco here. And if I was going to breed, I might consider that. However, I think Chang has them for $119. They're not adults, but there you have it. All right, so here are some more. This is that blue spotted hill trout, hill stream trout, whatever you want to call it. They're not really, but these are cool. They have like all these different colors that you'll see when they spawn. They really take on some different colors. Let's see if they've got any examples of it, but they're a really neat one. And they're a little boisterous, but those and like the bitterlings and stuff are pretty neat. Also, look, here's a good picture. There we go. So this is what Chang has too, but the Bloody Mary hill stream loaches. And this is again Chris Lukoff out of Germany. The Shrimp King, is as he's known. He took these pictures, and so it's hard to get a picture to do justice to a lot of these fish. Same with, you know, this Staphodon that they both have in stock. So some of them are working from similar sources, but yeah, everything right now is expensive though. These are also great for shipping, is expensive. These are really cool though. These Pitbull plecos. They don't have. They shouldn't have that name because of any, you know, attitude or anything. They're very chill. They just kind of hang out at the bottom and eat biofilm. And they were not in the hobby for like 10, 15 years, and they just kind of came back and are around now. I've seen both Moonlight have them and Dan's have them, and I hear they breed in captivity. White cheek gobies. These were also available between both of these people. So it's kind of interesting, like how my favorite fish suppliers are getting some of these rare fish that you don't see anywhere. This is the other one. These are related to those freshwater bumblebee gobies. And yes, they're $34 for an inch long fish. That is crazy. There's this species, and then there's another species that's a mogul gobius, what is it, Fulidae or something like that, that has a yellow fin, and it's absolutely incredible looking little beautiful thing. But alas, wow, this is a great price on white cheek gobies. Get these now. These are coming out of China, Hunan province, out of China. And yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they're getting these. I mean, these were originally from China, and I'm curious. I've got some of these that are going on over a year now. Beautiful fish. I also have the crimson ones that that Moonlight carries, and they're great. They're really cool little fish. Also, some of these Santa Maria Endlers, some of the Endler patterns are really wild. Also, I noticed that Dan did have some pygmy sunfish available at some point. It looks like this stuff. Wait, are we now to the out of stock? Some of it. Yeah, some of it. But again, if you're looking for a picture of a fish and you're on a website and you want to know how good that fish looks, especially if it's wild caught. So like the Sinipa red pencil fish. This is an unrivaled, incredible, you know, it's expensive as all get out. $50 for a fish. I could never pay it. I can't afford it, you know, whatever. But a beautiful fish. Nevertheless, if you got a group of those and you wanted to breed them, try your luck at, you know, flipping them and selling them, I get it. Also, wow, he's got 9 of these super whites. Now these are a man-made one, and so this is one where like you probably could sell these for a lot of money. I've seen pairs of those at auction go for like $750. Just wild. I wonder how much our days of seeing that stuff are over though. I really do. I think this is another really underrated one. The L236. These are a really cool pleco. And they're only $79 right now. I mean, they're usually like darn near 200 when I see them. So I don't know. That's a pretty cool deal. Also, these pearl scale geophagus, those are another nice one. Oh, they've got black chin live bear. Oh, there's only 2 available. What's going on there? I have all females right now, and I don't think they reproduce. I don't think that they. Oh wow, okay, guys, that's a pretty good deal right there. I think that might even be that deal right there is going to beat, I believe that beats Moonlight. So Dan's Fish has got a crazy deal on these freshwater tiger moray eels. If you guys want a predator, actually they're not that bad. They're not like that vicious. They can coexist with other fish. They've got tiny mouths, but they do have attitude, and they are the only true freshwater eels that are that in that group. Absolutely phenomenal, super cool. That's a really good deal. Use the code if you're using your first time. Yes, and Dan's Fish does have Aaron does have the Paradox toothpick fish in stock. So yeah, and yeah, those pygmy sunfish blew through them fast, Beto. That's for sure. Is it hard qualify? Wait, is it hard to qualify to raise endangered fish? So they're basically, things are either under the CITES listing and we can't have them, only zoos can, or they're not listed. And the main problem is a lot of states you cannot harvest something, even if it's not endangered, even if it's just threatened or if it's just not a game fish, you can't collect it because of state or municipal laws locally. But saying someone may have collected it 50 years ago and it's been passed around the hobby and bred in Spain, and then you go to Spain and you bring back the eggs and then you raise those eggs and whatever. I think a lot of it's a wink and a nod because somebody just went outside and grabbed them and then lied about the first few. But needless to say, there are a lot of fish you can legally own, but you cannot legally harvest or buy them in certain states, which is a conundrum, especially when the fish isn't threatened at all. That's really frustrating. And I will tell you that ethically, I mean, we allow corporations to just, put agricultural waste and things into water. We allow industry to do that. Yet we can't use a fish that's not threatened at all. You can't go collect like a pumpkin seed or a bluegill and put it in your own tank in some states. So, I mean, I'm not going to advocate anybody breaking any rules, but I am going to say that some of the rules don't make no sense. Johnny, thank you so much for the super sticker, my brother. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. And I know I mentioned, you know what I mentioned? I mentioned that there were isopods that I needed to get out to y'all because they're breeding. And I have, I'll be right back. Hold on. Let me grab my bottle. Oh, isopods. Oh, baby girl, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were right here. Look at who is right here with me the whole time, everybody. Hi, baby. Hi. You wanna be on the computer with me? You say, Thought I woke her up by hitting her with the wheelchair, but apparently she just lights out. Sue me, girl. Sue me, girl. So, I have to tell you guys, this cat brings me an awful lot of comfort, and she's probably the reason why the fish room has gotten a little bit of neglect on top of, you know, all the health stuff and all the other stuff, and getting a new roof and spending our savings and all that stuff. She is the best money I've spent in a long while, and I highly recommend Aminals. Rescue you an animal that needs rescuing. But yeah, she's a good kitty. She's a good girl. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Over the back she goes. Sumi behaves like a cat. She behaves like a dog half the time. She'll go play fetch. She's an interesting one. All right. What I was gonna grab though, if I can. Am I still? What am I hung up on? Hold on, guys. I will get the isopods. I wanted to show you guys how the isopods were doing. What am I freaking caught on? Okay, hold on. 1 sec. Be right back. One isopod, pod of ice, lysopod, isolod, isopod. Okay, all right. So, wicked freaking aquatics. I wish I need an air horn. Do I have an air horn? Anybody? Boy, I'm gonna mix this up easily. So I had my neighbor, because everything is a freaking process now. When I'm trying to be good and stay in the wheelchair, I'm trying to keep myself. I'm trying to behave, guys, and I'm trying to follow the rules that the doctor set forth. Of not doing things to mess myself up anymore with the legs. But let's see, can we get these isopods in focus? So they're just chilling on some algae. Got lots of isopods. There's actually Daphnia and Cyclops in there. And I got a bunch of emails from y'all, and I'm gonna respond. But I literally wanted to make sure I had all the isopods handy. And there's some handy isopods. But what I wanted to show you guys was the pregnant ones. So the pregnant ones have white bellies, and they have what's called, just the most adorable name ever for a creepy crawly, right? Is a marsupium, which is their little pouch where they carry a bunch of baby isopods. And just being in this tank in this bottle for 24 hours even, they've had babies, and you can see the babies crawling around. There comes like a mid-sized one. There are let's see here. There's a female right there. Can you see her? Can we see her pouch? Can you see her pouch? Right there. See the one with the white pouch? That is an egg pouch. The one kind of right by the heel of my hand, right over, well, right here. She's kind of going out of the picture, and I'll move it so she doesn't. Right there. She's got a white belly. There's another one with a white belly right there. The bottom of the bottle. Each of those has like another 30 babies in them. So, yeah. Long story short, I got your isopods covered. Also, we got lots of algae and isopods and like little creepy crawlies in here. And that's because this is the Elasoma tank that's right next to my workspace here. And we got all the little baby fishes. We got all the little baby. We can probably flush the little baby fishes out and say hello to them for a moment. Come on, little baby fishes. I hope these little baby fishes aren't too vicious. And I hope none of them are delicious. I wish I hadn't ever put snails in here though. That is one thing that I thought was going to mitigate the algae to some degree. Yeah, no, it didn't, and it just made a big old mess. So I counted 31 of these fry, and I'm really curious to see if we ever even get anything close to that back out as adults when all's said and done. But come on, focus. There's some little fry right there. There's a little Daphnia. There's some of the bigger fish. There's one right up in here. If we can get him to freaking move. Come on and move. He likes to move it, move it. Oh, now he's all scared because I scared him. Anyways, this little tank, little 4 gallons, has been a lot of entertainment. I've got a bunch of isopods in here also, as I've mentioned. They're in that bottle, but they're also like all throughout here. You'll see them. Like there's one right down in here, and they're just doing their thing, and they clean the substrate. They comb it. They are like greenskeepers. They're like a fairway, like a keeper. Pretty incredible. Such cute water creatures. I know, right? Like a kangaroo? Exactly like a kangaroo. Yeah, marsupiums. They call it that because, like a marsupial, they have a pouch with babies in it, which is pretty cool. Thank you so much. We got 64 likes. I feel like that's pretty bad considering there's only 62 people in here right now. How many people have come through here? I believe that I feel like I'm going to try to keep it positive, but I believe like at the end of the day that they're slowly trying to just turn off my channel because y'all that come and hang out, like you the real ones, I appreciate it so much. And there's some of you who are clearly getting alerts, or at least you guys just know what's up. You know, on Tuesdays and Fridays, I try my best to be here. But man, for having 85,000 subscribers, 60 people on a Friday night, man, I must have bad live streams. Anyways, enough of that. I'm not here for them. I'm here for y'all. Yeah, no notification for you, 186 Element. I know I keep hearing that from a lot of people. So I don't know what to do other than thank you for being here regardless of the update. I tried to post on Facebook and on the community tab post thing. Now YouTube has a like a new community space thing, and I bet they're gonna push that. And so I don't know what that even is. Tiffany, hello. You got a notification? Well, good. Appreciate that. So, guys, do we have... I'm subscribed with personalized notifications. Didn't get one for this. Yeah, no, that's about right for this channel. So tomorrow, I think it'll be tomorrow, I did something really dumb. I edited an entire video for y'all about fast-growing plants that will eat nitrates, nitrites, ammonia quickly, like that prioritize that. Both for people who have a tank where they want to grow something quickly, or maybe you want to flip and make a profit on just cheap plants, you know, like $4 a bunch and just bring them to your swap meet. And you can grow them out in a pond and you can just grow, you know, a whole bunch and make, you know, a decent amount of money and not have to charge anyone or rake anyone over the coals for it. So I have a video that I have on the top 10 quickest growing plants that also eat nitrates and nitrites, like pound for pound, quick growing, and they clean your aquarium. Well, though that video I edited in 4K, ultra widescreen, and YouTube wouldn't take it. So I had to do it like from a computer if I wanted to upload it. It was on the phone when I was trying to upload it. So tonight I'm going to try to edit all of it basically, cut down. So hopefully like I can save it as a crop file, but the problem is then all the labels are out of whack and I don't want to post that. So I'll probably have to redo all the labels to get it in the 1080p or the 16:9 HD size. I know that's boring, but yeah, anyways. JP Jeffries lurking. Well, that's fine. That's all good. I like that. You got a Discord notification. Robert Bennett said, well, I will take that as a victory. Yeah. Yeah, I get all notifications for way too many channels, says Jeff, that frequently miss the prior. Yeah, I know that is hard. That's why I stopped using the your feed and the, what is it? It's called my subscriptions rather than the for you, because I don't care what AI thinks I want. Like I have so much stuff saved that I need to make a point of watching that I don't care what their algorithm says that I should be watching. I want to watch what I've already like set aside and been like, please, I would like to watch X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So do we have any big philosophical questions? I want to do a walkthrough of the fish room soon, obviously, but I'm not walking, so I'll have to get help with that live stream. The big aquarium is actually doing really well because I can wheel right up to it. Same with that one. The fish room, it's alive and doing its thing, but it's not like super pretty at the moment. But I'm getting the hang of it. You know, I'm not always using the wheelchair. Sometimes I just get so fed up that I'm like, I'm gonna stand on my broken ankle. I don't care, and I just say forget it. But most of the time, I'm trying to be good, especially if I go out and a boot, just go to the doctor or anything. But I'm hanging in there. I appreciate it, James. I do. Guys, do you have any? Can I help you with any questions, thoughts, comments, problems, quandaries, queries, QWERTY keyboards, liquid death, water? And you know, after all, thank you so much for coming here and hanging out with me, because this is the high point of my social life. This is my social life. You guys are my social life, and I appreciate it. And I have been working on like, probably half a dozen videos. And I know that right now my stuff's not getting recommended to many people, and I haven't been publishing a lot. But I'm kind of getting ready to hopefully have like 2 videos a week for like 6 or 8 weeks in a row is the hope. And that way, I'm hoping that then we kind of get the ball rolling again on that momentum. But it's not worth doing 1 a week when you used to do 2 a week. YouTube will like basically just not promote it, and I don't know why that is. And I think right now they really want. Yeah, I agree on that one, Jeff. Fish rooms aren't intended to be pretty functional for making. They're intended to be functional for making more fish. Well, yeah. Right now, my fish room is not even making that many more fish because I've kind of backed off on that, because I was supposed to also go to Milwaukee, and I had to call that off. I was supposed to go to DC, and I had to call that off. I was so excited to go those places and to talk to those clubs. I am hoping against all hopes that I can still in September make it to Missouri. That's the next big one that like talk that I had scheduled, and last year I had to reschedule that. So if I don't get to go to that, I'm going to be really, really down in the dumps. I have like a whole talking about like the history of the Midwest kind of, and Ozark, like the goldfish farms and stuff that kind of popped up there before Florida. Yeah, I know I bailed on Milwaukee. I said I could do a video, but that was not as fun. And they said they had somebody that would cover, or they had some plan that would cover. And I said, oh, and I need to send them that. I have some notes from a game of like Trivial Pursuit Fish Edition that I made up, that I need to send over to the coordinator gal. CJ, hot where you're at, huh? Oh no, you lost. Oh, the heat waves outdoors. Yeah, people. CJ, sorry to hear that, but if you are in a place that's hot, figure it out now. How many hours a day of sunlight is too much for your tanks, your tubs, your algae, your limiting factors for your tanks. Because man, you can cook your fish really easy, unfortunately, if you just have tanks or tubs, and it's the first year you've had them out, and then they just get real hot all of a sudden. Be aware, or insulate or bury in the ground, or whatever it is you have to do. Cover with a shade cloth, get a fan, or even like a little pinwheel or windmill or anything. Get one of those water, if you have a filter running on your pond, get one of those water powered fans. I know that sounds goofy, but one of the ones that is like a little windmill, and instead of the wind powering your the wheel, you have the wheel powering the fan blades, and that is then pushing a breeze across the top of the pond, which will cool it down a little bit at least. Alex, if you have a soft water fish species in a hard water tank, does that make a difference for why spawning is not ever possible? Yes. So if you have a soft water fish, it is very likely that they will not spawn in hard water. They could even die depending on what fish it is. However, most hard water fish will spawn in soft water. It's just their fish babies, their fry, may have like spinal defects or other issues like that. So like Tanganyikan cichlids, or really hard water, like some of the Thai little fish, or some of the Tennessee and Alabama fish that like that limestone water and stuff, that are used to the harder water. They can do fine in soft water or even in low pH. And I'm saying relatively, like 6.0 or something. But the babies might have a lot of defects, or they might not spawn as readily, as quickly, or as numerously. If you go the other way, though, if you've got soft, like Amazonian, like especially like a blackwater cichlid, or tetras, or rasboras, and you're trying to breed them in water that's like 8.0 pH, there's a good chance that they will not spawn at all. And then they might even, be stressed. They might die. It's pretty serious going the other way. Yeah. Ray Jimenez, man, I'm going to mess up. Jimenez. Did I say that right? Jimenez. Yes. Okay. I'm reading it and I'm like, that can't be, I'm not saying it right, but I hope that's right. I put scuds in an aquarium that has a betta, 3 platies, 3 mollies, and a bunch of shrimp. Snails too. Did I make a mistake? Well, you'll find out if your shrimp all disappear, but snails probably will be all right. Mollies and platies and betta will definitely be all right. And hopefully they will eat them. Now, what I would recommend is that you keep the light dim for maybe 2 hours in the morning and or at night. And what that will do is that will allow the scuds to think, oh, it's nighttime, we're safe. But the fish will still be able to easily see them and hunt them. So maybe turn off the tank light, leave the room light on, kind of thing. If you can do that, that will help get those scuds eaten. Also, if you put enough food out for the scuds, you don't want so much food that you're like just raising scuds like crazy, but you can put enough food out that the scuds then come out to try to eat the food, and the fish then eat that. There's a fine line between that too, though, because the fish might just come and eat the food. It's kind of like, do you want a hamburger or do you want a salad, and the fish might be like, I want the junk food. I want the pre-prepared dried flake food that has all the stuff that I'm supposed to sensorily like the taste of, rather than nutritionally or evolutionarily necessarily need in my body. Hydrocooled Carrot, what's up? I have a betta who was born with a curved spine. She has been living happily until recently. She has lost almost all movement in her tail. Struggles to get around. Ah, bummer. I am sorry to hear about that. That is rough. 186 says Luminatus or pencils. I would go with Pseudomagil Luminatus, or purple or red arc pencilfish, or barred pencilfish, the Equus pencilfish, or Equus pencilfish. Yeah. Yeah. But I think the Pseudomagil luminatus are so hard to top. They are such a beautiful fish. Such a beautiful fish. And you can mop spawn them. So you can kind of spawn them in a community tank if you don't have it super duper planted and you kind of have a mop up in the top corner. Sometimes you'll get them to spawn while you have other fish. But they actually should get along all right with other, like if you have pencil fish and stuff, they should all get along pretty hunky dory. That should be good. All right, wicked freaking aquatics, Alex. We lost our AC and lost 5 betta in the heat. Oh man, I am so sorry, and I know. And thank you, James. I appreciate the goodwill. I really do. The prayers. Because sometimes I don't know what else to say about all of that other than, yeah, you just gotta hold on tight, pray, and be thankful for what you got. And I am so thankful for this community, my family, my wife, this hobby, and the beauty of nature, and the gift that we are given daily by just being able to go and explore this incredible world now more than ever before in history. I know it's like crazy times that are stressful, and sometimes it feels like the world's falling apart, but also the world's never been more, connected, obviously, and never been more accessible. And that's exciting times. You have a family house on the Lake of the Ozarks. Oh, nice. Well, I'll try to make it, and hopefully I'll make it. I got to do the things they tell me to do. Yep. Yellow marker, will you be making a low pH cycle video? Stuck after 6 weeks, low nitrates at 6.2 pH, low GHK, processing ammonium chloride 1 to 2 parts per million. In less than 24 hours, and has nitrates that plants are consuming. Wait, so will you be making the low pH cycle video? Stuck after 6 weeks. So 6 weeks isn't super long. I mean, it's a good amount of time. It's enough time to get cycled usually, but not always. If your pH is at 6.2, your good bacteria is no longer alive. At 6.4, your good bacteria gets starved because the ammonia evaporates out of solution. It evaporates, it turns into ammonium or ammonia, and it becomes gas out of the water, not suspended in the water and dissolved in the water. It comes out at a low pH, around 6.4 pH. And not only is the ammonia then not dangerous to the fish, but it becomes, like I said, ammonium. And then your bacteria in the water, if you did have it at, say, 6.5 or right around that edge zone, your nitrogen compound, your nitrates and nitrites, in deep substrate, they get locked away and turned back into ammonia and ionically bonded. And that's the whole anoxic complex thing that takes time. But for easy to like think about and like what we're talking about, especially in a 6-week period, processing ammonium chloride 1 to 2 parts per million in less than 24 hours. So it's evaporating out is my guess. If you're adding that and it's able to go from 1 or 2 parts per million to nothing in 24 hours, it's probably evaporating out. I know your plants will be consuming some of it. To some degree, it gets consumed, but to some degree, it evaporates. I don't know how quick each thing happens necessarily, but I know that in very low pH, so when you're down in like the 4.5, the 5.0, when you're trying to breed like rasboras and tetras, you don't even need a filter because your ammonia just comes out of the water. You just need to change the water so the organic debris doesn't build up. So the bacteria load and the viral load and the hormones and, you know, all this stuff that gets secreted, dead skin cells and whatever, algae, whatever you could imagine that's a part of life in an aquarium doesn't build up. I haven't done a video per se on that, but if you have a little more detail of what you would like to see, I can work on that. All right, let's see here. Oh, nice. You got a jade cochina in 3 tanks. And they survived right on. Wicked Freaking Aquatics. Those are a beautiful fish. I want to get some more wild bettas. They're very good for right now with me not being able to take care of like high intensity, like physically. Like I could have a whole bunch of bettas still, wild bettas, and do great with them. And so I would love to. The jade cochinas are beautiful, and I know they just got a new, was it Persepolis or Persephonis? I don't know how to say it. There's some new grouping with those that they're calling it, according to one of my taxonomy groups I'm a part of. I caught some note on that, but I haven't committed it to memory yet. Erna Pitry, hello. And Alex, my tap water TDS is 40 and my pH is neutral. That is very soft. That's very soft. And that's great water, honestly. You can add whatever you want to it. If it's stable, especially if you got 40 parts per million of something in there, probably 20 is chlorine or something that's going to evaporate off. But if you just add a little bit of either aqua soil or a teeny bit of crushed coral, like, you know, a tablespoon per gallon or 2 of crushed coral to the substrate or whatever, or just some wood or something in there, that should be enough dissolved carbon and other things that it will buffer your carbonate, that it will buffer your tank from swinging at all. Because the other thing is, if you have nothing in your aquarium, if it's like 20 TDS, then you worry about it swinging too low all of a sudden. Alex, what's the point of the store-bought leaves? Nothing I have seen wants to eat it. So they eat, they will eat the, so store-bought leaves are just they're an easy to sell thing for people who don't have anything in their backyard, or for people who live in the city, or for people who don't know what's not treated by pesticides. Like if you live in like New York, or you live in a park, or you live in a suburb where the HOA sprays all the trees and stuff, you know, and you just don't know like what's what, and you worried about it, you can just go buy an almond leaf or whatever. Or you want that dependable, like this is the same each time I buy it, you know, that kind of vibe. But they're not, fish and shrimp and snails don't eat dead leaves usually. What they do is they eat the bacteria and the biofilm on those things. They eat the algae, they eat the protein, they eat all the little things. I have a video called Aufux and biofilms. I have several videos on that. But like on these rocks, for instance, all that algae and stuff, there's also just these, if we look under the microscope, there are dozens of species living within that first millimeter of goo or algae and stuff. And that's what grows on those leaves. It promotes that. Plus, then it also adds essential oils and different compounds to your aquarium. Watch my video that's an hour long if you really want to deep dive on all the chemical properties in like almond leaves. But I have one on almond leaves, one on jackfruit leaves, one on guava leaves, and one on tannins. The one on tannins is an overview, and it talks about some of the stuff, even things like modulating their blood pressure, helping with their pain, helping with their immune system. It's pretty amazing what they've found that stuff. There's always leaves in the water, out in the wild. And granted, almond leaves are just one of many trees, but there are a lot of trees out there that make up a cocktail in every river, and you can use local tree leaves oftentimes as well. Maple leaves, oak leaves, alder leaves are great. Just don't use any really aromatic stuff is the kind of general rule. So will it be able to process yellow marker? So will it ever be able to process nitrites? I've read that they're exponentially dangerous at low pH. No, so that's the opposite actually. So ammonia and nitrates and nitrites are exponentially safer at low pH. They evaporate out. So if you have a 8.0 pH and you have 1 part per million nitrite or ammonia or either nitrite or nitrate, either way, that will build up over time probably, if it's starting to build up. If you've got plants or bacteria that's working on it, it will trend downward and you won't have to worry about it. But regardless, pretend that you don't have anything in there, like a cycle breaking it down. At 8.0 pH, it is deadly to fish. At 9.0 pH, it is 10 times more deadly to fish. At 10.0 pH, even though no fish are that hard water, it is 100 times. So it's an exponential. So 8.0, like your live bearers, your Tanganyikan cichlids, things like that. Not only do those waters not support plants, and at around 9.0 pH, you tend to lose a lot of your bacterial cycle also on the far end of the spectrum, but it's way poisonous to the fish. On the other side, though, on the acidic side, you're much safer. And nitrates actually are not deadly at any low amount. Nitrates, you can have 500, 600, 700 parts per million in some cases, and fish are sometimes still okay, especially if it's a gradual thing. But just do some water changes, 10% at a time or whatever, and just slowly get that water changed. If your nitrates are building up, if they're not exiting the system, being bonded or converted to ammonia again through the anoxic exchange or any sort of ionic bonding. Oh, Wicked Freaking Aquatics. Thank you. Man, maybe I will ask you for a pair of those when they spawn. That would be wicked freaking awesome. Yeah, those jade cochinas are really cool. Yeah, I have been keeping an eye out for those. Alex, any pH under 6.4 after cleaning, sponge filter, and new water, does it make sense to add Fritz nitrifying? I don't know, because I think what happens is some bacteria does go dormant. So it's probably not a bad idea to add it, because if your pH does end up kind of creeping back up, then it may then be inoculated in the water. And if there's a dechlorinating element or something like that to the product also, or like aloe vera or something that is okay for the slime coat of the fish, like tannins and things, then that's where I could see like, it's not going to hurt. So I would say it probably won't hurt. Is it necessary? That I don't know for sure, but I hope that helps. Hoved Aquatics. So I'm doing 60 rimless cube, got 20 tetra Congos, right? Red eye. 20 barbs, nice, and snakeskin and tiger. Anything more? That's a big cube. That's really cool. I think you got a pretty good load with those. If you can get any lamp eye killifish, those will hang out right at the top. They're pretty cool. Maybe some squeaker cats or some sort of like African catfish that's going to get like 3 to 5 inches. You could have that in your tank. You could have two to three of those. I would say that would be pretty cool. But I think you got a good thing going there with that. You could add maybe there might be a few more little barbs you could add if you're trying to do kind of an African biotope. There's some of the more slender ones, some of the silver ones. There's one that's called like the telegraph barb. That's pretty cool. And then there's, you know, obviously the 8 stripe. Oh, the other one I would do is the 8 stripe fire barb. Absolutely beautiful. And those are not too expensive. They're usually $8.99 or so when you find them. But those, if you get like 9, 10 of them, you could add those to that too, and that would be pretty impressive. They school well, or they kind of shoal. They move, then they kind of group up, then they move, and they kind of group up. So yeah. Alabib, hello, welcome back. Hello, thank you. Jacked up on jackfruit, yeah. And Johnny gave another membership. Thank you so much, Johnny. I appreciate it. I'll have to see what Wetspot has. Thank you. Yeah, gotta love Wetspot. That place has some cool stuff in it for sure. I love that shop. I wish I was closer to shop there for sure. So whoever got that gifted membership, better thank Johnny. He is the giftaholic on the letting others experience the channel in its full glory and in its unedited nature. Is all lava rock safe for the lasagna method? Anything, not technically, but yeah, anything you probably are going to find at the store, anything should be okay. What you don't want is you don't want like pot ash. Like if it's in theory, like you could have like a forest was there and it's a tree that got turned into charcoal and there's like carbon elements in where they dug it up, or you know, some who knows what, like, oh, it's from Mount St. Helens or Mount Fuji and it's like just this one spot where there was a landslide. And there's exceptions that are really weird and out there, but for the most part, any igneous rock, unless it's got like some big calcite or limestone inclusion or intrusion in it, you're totally fine. So I would assume any like porous or red or black igneous or holy kind of lava rock is going to be totally safe and great, full of voids for that kind of deep substrate method. All right, you guys, I am going to get out of here. I'm going to freewheeling Bob Dylan. Is that the album cover? Freewheeling Bob Dylan. That doesn't really rhyme. Noticed during a sunrise, the reflection of the light on the surface of the tank was polarized. There was a plastic lid near it, and I could see the stress marks. It was only on the black water tank. Interesting, Alavib. Is that just that? Is it that tank that you have? Is it unique? Is it rimless or braced or something that's different than your other tanks? Or was it just that the tannins in the black water gave you a light spectrum where you could actually see the polarization applied? That's pretty interesting. I'd like to know if anybody else can see the polarization on their tank at the right angle, like a prism. Thank you. I hope I can keep doing better, right? Yeah, because that would be great if I could make 2 live streams every week like I try to freaking do. And hopefully get a video, if not 2 or 3 up a week again, right? That's the goal overall here, you guys. But yeah. You made my day. I'm going to buy my first fish pets this weekend. Right on, Yellow Marker. Good for you. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. You know, setting up the tank. Don't rush it. it's always a really cool experience just to see the little changes and things. And, you know, don't get yourself too wrapped up in like, ooh, is that the flashiest, coolest fish I've ever seen? Because over time, it's easy to get jaded and be like, yo, I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen a bright blue fish. I've seen this fish. Sometimes it's the plain silver ones that have the most fascinating and beautiful interactions with each other, where, you know, they have like really caring and nurturing relationships with like their babies, or maybe they do something really funny with the way they nest. You never know. And that's the magic of like fish keeping. It's such a diverse, we have so many creatures to pick from, and they act so differently when we set them up for different ways, whether that's chemically or environmentally or habitually, in the sense of like their habits and their behavior. It's really cool. Transformers, it's time to transform and roll out. That's right. Autobots, assemble. All right, you guys. I'm going to get out of here. We've been streaming like a demon and screaming. So let's get out of here. But I appreciate you spending some time with me, all of y'all. And thank you so much for these super duper chats. Thank you so much for the support, the love, the friendship. And you'll know where to find me on Tuesdays and Fridays. If I can help it, I will be here around 4:30 or 5, you know, on those days. And sometimes other days too, you know, you never know. But I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. Take care. Take care of those around you. Take care of yourselves, because you can't take care of those around you if you don't take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you all later. Much love. Now, where's that cat? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Sumi.